They're saying Doku cooked Trent Alexander-Arnold. Cooked? Cooked? Really? Cooked? Maybe he microwaved him. Maybe he made a quick 1-minute meal out of Trent. But cooked? You're talking penne vodka at the restaurant, $100 plus $20 in tips. Cooked? You're talking about the chef coming up to the table and saluting you and saying, hello, thank you for your meal. I hope you enjoyed it. Cooked? You're talking about carne asada in the backyard on a Sunday with Liga MX playoffs waiting for you, looming so you can go watch Chivas lose once again. Cooked? There is no way. There's no way Doku cooked Trent. There's no way. Hello, and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your co-host, Reynoso, here by myself once again. Thanksgiving week, Soltero decided to go up to California, I believe, San Francisco area, and enjoy his Thanksgiving with his family, leaving me and producer Rudd by ourselves. So be it. That's how it goes this time of the year. That's when you realize who the real ones are. When the holidays come around, who's truly there around you? And it ain't the fucking octopus, I'll tell you that much. And it's funny, man, because the first topic I want to start off with actually involves something that heavily involves both Soltero and I. It's the fact that both Manchester United and Newcastle United, the United Twins this season, won at the weekend. Can you guys believe that shit? The one time Soltero isn't here, both teams, it's got to be the first time. It's got to be the first time this season where both teams win in such convincing fashion. Newcastle beating Chelsea 4-1 and Manchester United beating Everton 3-0. But folks, there's only one place this episode can start. Only one singular place. And it starts with Alejandro and it ends with Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho. Scoring a potential Puskas winner against Everton to start off the match 2 minutes into the game. One of the most ridiculous, one of the most impressive bicycle kicks I've ever seen in my life. Truly, let's talk about it right away. Let's already just start talking about this in terms of the place it lands in bicycle kick history. Is this one of the greatest bicycle kicks we've seen? I think right off the bat, off of the eye test, it has to be. It has to be. You compare it to Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick against Manchester City. You compare it to Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Juventus, who Garnacho himself idolizes. Zlatan's against England. I think this is immediately inserted into the top 5 bicycle kicks I think I've ever seen. Let's just keep it in Europe. Let's say in Europe, this has to be one of the greatest bicycle kicks I've ever seen. You look at so many different factors. The way the ball was whipped in and barely had any height or arc on it. And then the fact that Garnacho had to run away from the goal to position himself for the bicycle kick. That's ridiculous. Almost every other single bicycle kick that you've seen in history involves the player facing or at least running towards the goal and then being in a pretty good promising position. Perhaps they're like more centered towards the goal, but Garnacho was none of these things, man. He was running away from the goal. He was dealing with the ball that was incredibly flat. And then he was so far away. What gets me so much about this goal is the distance between him and the goal. I was expecting him to either try to head it or at the very least try to bring it down with his chest and then do some fucking Garnacho flair in the fucking box and try to just make some magic happen. But instead, we saw him just go for it. And I cannot express enough how important this moment is for Garnacho, his career, and where he's at right now with Manchester United. Because I've been a little shaky on Garnacho this season. He was incredible last year, coming off the bench, playing a really important role for Manchester United and scoring some late end of the game goals to either win or tie the match, proving himself to be a very vital player for Manchester United. But then Ten Hag started giving him those starter minutes. And, we see Anthony get criticized a lot for the lack of production from his wing. But then Garnacho, I think, has kind of evaded that criticism because he's just so young. He has so much potential. He is so promising, but still, I haven't seen much. Truly, I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen much out of him this season. So I think a moment like this is just going to propel him towards... you saw his reaction. You saw the way he celebrated that goal. Just whacking his hand, fucking knowing the filth that he just created in that very moment in front of those Everton fans. The confidence that goal is going to give Garnacho, I think, is going to be massive. And I think that that's exactly what he needed right now in this moment in his career to propel him to have, hopefully, a more successful second half of the season. So props to Garnacho. Manchester United goes on to win 3-0 in this match, but the storyline was Garnacho. The storyline was this Argentine kid, 19 years of age, scoring one of, if not the greatest goal we've seen so far in all of Europe this season, and immediately inserting himself into the Puskas discussion with a beautiful, beautiful bicycle kick. And on the other side, we have Newcastle United facing off against Chelsea, where Newcastle won 4-1. The game was tied at one moment with Raheem Sterling scoring a game-time free kick. It was nice. I give him his credit. Nice little finish. I give him his props. Never really seen a Sterling finish like that, honestly, off of a free kick, so my respects. But after that, the game was over. The game was over because Newcastle went off. 3 goals in a row, back to back to back. The standout to me so far this whole season for Newcastle, I think, is Anthony Gordon. 5 goals, 3 assists so far. That's ridiculous. 8 goals and assist contributions in 12 matches so far? That's really impressive. And I'm not hearing enough about how Newcastle paid that 40 million euro price tag, got criticized for it, but now that Gordon's producing, I'm not hearing many comments now. And I just want to call those people out because people were quick to criticize Gordon after that move from Everton. He had a good stint with Everton, really helping them stay up in the league and providing to be a really feisty player, hungry, full of energy, not afraid to go in for a tackle, but then also knowing how to finish, which I think is a really impressive attribute of his. Newcastle buys him for 40 million euros, and immediately the comments came in. Very negative comments, and I was curious to see, how does Anthony respond to it? Does he become the next Jadon Sancho, a young, promising English player that just fails to live up to that price tag? Or does he actually provide himself to be a really solid player? And so far, I think there's an argument to be made. I think it's split between him and a couple other players from Newcastle, that he's one of the most important players for Newcastle so far this season. When Gordon shows up, Newcastle shows up. And I think that's a formula that we've been seeing kind of simmer for a while within the Premier League. And I love that in this match specifically, he showed up with a beautiful, beautiful finish where I was like, God damn, Tony, you're looking good out there. Full of confidence. And in front of those home fans, well, they loved it. And Newcastle goes on to win 4-1. They're saying that Enzo Fernandez and Mykhailo Mudryk haven't seen the top half of the Premier League table since joining Chelsea. Can you deep that? That is actually ridiculous. That's insane. Chelsea is still in a deep, deep pit. Even when they have positive moments, such as last week, the truth still remains. Chelsea is going through an absolute struggle, and this is not going to fix itself this season. I believe they need an entire offseason to reset and then be able to go at it once again in 2024-2025 Premier League season. So for now, Chelsea fans are in the mud. Sorry. Hate to break it to you, but this shouldn't be breaking news by now. Newcastle takes over, and they're looking good once again. So, for what feels like the first time, I might be wrong, but for what feels like the first time, Newcastle United and Manchester United win their games at the weekend. So, it's just crazy because we've highlighted, we've commented on this, me and Soltero, about how these teams are just so back and forth about who can be the most mid team in the top 6. Manchester United going through some really bad spells, and then Newcastle United failing to show up midweek in the Champions League, and then also losing some really easy games in the Premier League. But now we're seeing both teams finally show up in fashion. I hope that means something. I hope that can continue because both these teams are dope, bro. They're both dope, and I want to see them rise to the top. And now, speaking of the top, we had Liverpool versus Manchester City going at it this weekend. Man, this matchup really, it's my favorite matchup. It really is my favorite matchup in all of world football. And it has been for probably the past 6, maybe 5 years. I actually have a list on my computer. I have on my Notepad app. I have every single result between Liverpool and Manchester City these past 5 years because every single game is so memorable. It's so memorable. The level of quality on the pitch is so damn high. It's so hard to find that anywhere else. To me, the highest echelon of football that we're seeing right now in all of the world happens when you see Liverpool face off against Manchester City. The one year where that didn't happen was last year, of course. But even then, we saw a really tight matchup at Anfield where Liverpool won 1-0 through a Mo Salah goal to give them the lead. So it's just crazy because the rivalry between, you look at the very top, the coaches, Jurgen Klopp going against Pep Guardiola, and then the stars, Mo Salah going up against whatever the hottest Man City player is at the moment. De Bruyne, is it Haaland, is it Julian Alvarez, whoever it might be. The matchups are incredible in both the offense, the midfield, and the defense. So I get excited. I get perked up every time I see this matchup. Every time I see this matchup awaiting me at the weekend. What pissed me off about this one, though, 6:30 a.m. kickoff here in Texas. 6:30. Thanksgiving weekend. This is my holiday. This is my holidays, guys. Like, I'm trying to take a break. I'm trying to focus on my mental health, guys. But then I got to wake up at 6:30 to watch one of the greatest matchups in world football? I mean, I'll do it, but damn, dude. God damn, man. That's asking a lot. And that means that for people, what, in California, it was 4:30. For people in New York, it was, what, 5:30 perhaps? Maybe 7:30. They might be an hour ahead or behind. I'm not sure. But that means for anyone in the States, you had to watch this game probably before 8 a.m., which is just stupid, man. I think the Premier League fumbled the bag here on this one. This game should be happening at 12 p.m. in the U.S., 2 p.m. in the U.S. perhaps, and 7 to 9 p.m. in England time, because this is a premier matchup. We need to be in nighttime lighting, but it's the first match of the day to start off the Premier League. I'm critical of that. I did not like that personally, because I think people need to see this matchup. This needs to be accessible so people can really enjoy it and take it in, even those casual fans. And to put it in that sort of time slot just gets in the way of that. But regardless, we saw Liverpool and Manchester City go at it and end up tying 1-1. The storylines here, apparently, based off of what I'm seeing on football Twitter, is Trent Alexander-Arnold against Jeremy Doku. Trent getting a goal in this game to tie the match for Liverpool. A beautiful, beautiful touch and finish into the bottom left side of the net. Absolutely immense from Trent Alexander-Arnold. As Gary Neville said, he's not a right back, he's the right back. And that deserves credit. But then I log on to Twitter and I start scrolling. I start seeing all the football accounts that I follow on Twitter, and I start noticing a trend, which is that of me going to Twitter after watching a match and feeling like we didn't watch the same game, because I was looking at the comments for this match and there's no way in hell we saw the same match. Folks, they're saying Doku cooked Trent Alexander-Arnold. Cooked? Really? Cooked? Maybe he microwaved him. Maybe he made a quick 1-minute meal out of Trent. But cooked? You're talking penne vodka at the restaurant, $100 plus $20 in tips. Cooked? You're talking about the chef coming up to the table and saluting you and saying, hello, thank you for your meal. I hope you enjoyed it. Cooked? You're talking about carne asada in the backyard on a Sunday with Liga MX playoffs waiting for you, looming so you can go watch Chivas lose once again. Cooked? There is no way. There's no way Doku cooked Trent. There's no way. There's no way. You go back and look at the singular matchups they had between each other. There's absolutely no way. But once again, folks, this is a theme. This keeps happening. Not all the time, but sometimes. Do you guys ever get that feeling? You ever get that feeling like you just didn't watch the same game that everyone else did? I swear, man, sometimes I start talking to these people. I start going on Twitter, and the opinions people have, I'm like, we must have saw something else. Because I did not see that throughout those 90 minutes between Trent and Doku. I saw a fascinating matchup. And I definitely saw Doku have his highlights, have his moments. But cooked? The way he's been cooking other fullbacks throughout this entire Premier League season since the moment he stepped foot in England, I saw a lesser version of Doku, if I'm going to be honest. And I'm just saying, like, he was still impactful. He really was. But we didn't see him thrive in the same way we saw Doku thrive a few weeks ago when he had, 3-4 assists in a match? That's not the same Doku we saw. And I think it's important to highlight that, because I think people are just trying to create narratives when it comes to Trent. And I don't understand that, man. You've had the debates between him and Reece James for years now. You've had the debates between him and whatever young, talented fullback is on display in the moment. Trent gets compared to him time and time again. And I'm not even trying to come at you guys as a Liverpool fan. I'm trying to be honest. I think Trent has a weird role within the media where people just like to include his name. They like to put him down. They like to criticize him just a little bit extra hard. And God knows why, man. Because I think this guy is generational. The fact he's only 24, 25 years old at the moment and already has so many games played for Liverpool, so many achievements, so many trophies. Guys, can we just appreciate greatness? Because I do think Trent is that in the making. And yes, he has his low moments. Absolutely. But in this game, he did not. In this game, he stepped up in the premier matchup in world football and he balled the fuck out. So shout out my boy Trent. Shout out my boy Haaland, who also scored in this match. And shout out my boy Nunez, who decided to beef it up with Pep Guardiola. What did y'all think about that, man? That's bizarre. That was so weird that happened. But that's the Darwin Nunez experience. That's it right there in a nutshell, man. Unpredictable, feisty, unafraid, and capable of producing incredible moments. So the fact that he went up to Pep after the game for God knows what reason and tried to spark some sort of controversy was insane. Pep was surprised. You can tell he was truly surprised by the fact that he was even being approached like that. I feel like he thinks that because of the heights he's reached now, Pep specifically, that no one's ever going to come at him like that. And that makes sense because when you're potentially the greatest manager of all time, you expect everyone to show you respect. But when you got Darwin Nunez on the other side of the pitch, I mean, I just wouldn't rule that out. And we saw it, man. We saw him try to go at it. And luckily, Klopp got in between them. So crazy game, crazy match. And once again, another awesome game to add to this rivalry that we're seeing between Liverpool and Manchester City. But after this game, we saw what at the moment was the highlight of the weekend, which was Arsenal taking the lead in the Premier League with 30 points. Crazy. After the one and only Kai Havertz decided to score a goal in the 88th minute to give Arsenal the lead over Bournemouth, to then put them top of the league for what feels like the first time in a while, because Manchester City has held that position. Tottenham has held that position for a minute now. Arsenal is now on top behind Kai Havertz' game-winning goal. I repeat, Kai the guy Havertz scoring the game-tying goal. Beautiful to see, man. Beautiful narrative there. I think a little bit too much credit is being thrown at him, if I'm being honest, because I saw Arteta's interview afterwards, just giving him all this praise, saying, people are always critical of him and they shouldn't be that way because we know what he's capable of. And Arsenal Twitter losing their minds, saying they stole Chelsea's best player. Let's relax, guys. 2 goals, 1 assist so far in 13 games, despite being given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity up top. Let's be honest, guys. Look, I'm happy. I really am. I'm happy that he had this moment because I also felt the opposite. I felt that people were being too harsh on Kai Havertz. But being too rewarding, giving him too much praise, I think is also not good for that dude's mentality, because you can tell that shit goes to his head. That fucking guy, man. I swear it goes to his head. So yeah, he's probably going to reap the rewards of this goal now for the next couple of weeks, and he'll have a little bit of some time to relax and not worry about what the press will be saying about him. But if he goes another 4 fucking weeks without scoring, I'm going to be on his ass. And I'll be right there behind Kai the guy Havertz to be like, yo, time to wake the fuck up, because I just think he needs to be producing a little bit more. I think he needs to produce a little bit more overall. But still, Arsenal goes top of the league. Shout out to any Gunner fans out there that are celebrating this victory so far, because I'm going to be honest, dude, Arsenal are top of the league despite not really playing 100% of their best football, in my opinion. I think they've been really solid, but I actually think Arsenal fans would agree with me that they haven't really, turn into that extra gear that they have, or at least the gear that we saw last year, where they're winning games. They were able to beat Manchester City in a really important match at home. They were able to get really important results throughout these past 13 games, but something about it feels like there's still an element missing to their game. So I should give them credit, because despite that element missing, Arsenal finds themselves topping the league above Liverpool, above Manchester City, above Tottenham, above Aston Villa, of the United squads. Arsenal is at the top of the Premier League, and I think it's a really good sign that they're able to do that now, given the way that they played so far. So if they tap into that extra gear, I actually do think Arsenal will be a contender 100% for the rest of the season if they can do that. So shout out to Arsenal, big win. Let's see what y'all can do next week. And now that was the headline for the majority of the weekend until Sunday morning arrived. And at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we saw, and we continue to see, the downfall of Tottenham, as Aston Villa has risen from the ashes and found themselves in a Champions League spot in the goddamn Premier League. That's the story of the weekend for me. Aston Villa. For a second there, I thought that I was wearing their jersey. It looks so fucking similar. Aston Villa defeats Tottenham 2-1 away from home. Comeback victory after they went down 1-0. Ollie Watkins gives them the 2-1 lead, and Aston Villa is in the top 4. Ain't that beautiful, man? That's beautiful, man. This is a really good story, I think, happening right now in Europe, is the rise of Aston Villa behind Unai Emery and these additions that he's made. Moussa Diaby, Yuri Tielemans, and then for me, the biggest one so far, Pau Torres. This guy has been incredible. He's nearing that Rolls-Royce center back conversation. He's not there yet. But if anything, I think he's starting to put himself in the world-class category. This guy has an argument as one of the top 10, maybe even top 5 center backs in all world football. Coming from Villarreal and being there for years, proving to be a really, really important part of that back line in La Liga. But then making that move to the Premier League, which is something I wanted from him this offseason, because every time I look at him, I look at his age, 26 years old. I look at him starting for Spain and the international team and, proving to be the next guy up for them in terms of the center back positions. I'm like, okay, then take that next step. Either go to a big club in La Liga or go over to the Prem and join these massive, massive teams. And he actually did it, man. He came to join Unai Emery's project here in the Premier League behind Aston Villa. And he's absolutely rose in prominence because he even got a goal in this game as a defender, dude. That's ridiculous. This guy is so talented, so reliable, but he's got a good ass fucking head on him, man. He can score these headers, bro. And he had multiple opportunities in this match to score using only his head. And I think that's really good, man. That's a good asset to have in regards to his defensive attributes and then what he can offer offensively. If you can be good with your headers just like Van Dijk is, man, that adds another element of danger. And he has it, bro. He has it because he showed it in this very, very important match. Aston Villa overtakes Tottenham to get that 4th spot. And they're looking real nice, man. Real nice. I believe Soltero had Villa in 5th place. 5th place this season. And I had them in 6th, I believe. I think. I need to check back on that. I hope I was right. But regardless, this is massive from Aston Villa. Villa fans should be feeling great about themselves so far. I want to see it continue. I want to see them keep going because if they can hold that 4th place position, which is going to be so tough, man. It's going to be so tough. This would be one of the biggest achievements across all of Europe. It really would. So shout out Villa. And on the other hand, Tottenham. God damn, dude. God damn, man. Van de Ven, out. Injured. Can't play. Cristiano Romero, disciplinary issues. Can't play. James Maddison. This one hurts me. Out with injury until late December. That one hurts me, man, because we're gonna rely on Bryan Gil now. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rely on Bryan Gil to provide that offensive impetus. We're gonna ask Kulusevski to step it up and actually play up to a level that we expect out of him for once. We're gonna put all this responsibility on Heung-min Son instead. We're gonna ask Vicario. We're gonna ask Vicario to make the most jaw-dropping saves week in, week out. Because going back to that Chelsea performance where it all started to fall downhill for Tottenham, that's the way it's been for them. Yes, they went up in this game 1-0 and they got the lead, but god damn, dude, they did not help themselves once they were up, man. They essentially asked Aston Villa to just come at them and tie the match because Vicario was having to make save after save. The backline looked leaky. Then offensively, I just saw some really weird decisions, some really weird finishing. Where I'm just thinking, man, if you have James Maddison, operating that engine, how did things go? And, you don't have that duo now with Heung-min Son, James Maddison. That was potentially the best duo that we were seeing in the Premier League so far. That's gone now, or at least until January. So it's rough. It's looking real rough. And I remember I asked Soltero, do you think Tottenham can steady the ship? They can hold their own until then. And he told me that he does think they can. But I'll be honest, man, the way I'm seeing it so far, I think it's going to get really, really rough in those deep waters. And so best of luck to any Spurs fans out there. But right now, man, I think it's looking kind of grim because they're slowly losing a hold of that position they have in the league. And they find themselves in 5th place now. 5th. After being 1st for a good amount of weeks. And the last thing I want to note about the Premier League is Luton Town. Luton Town, baby. They've actually, we've actually built a little bit of a relationship with them. I get excited when I watch these Luton Town games because I had Soltero sit across from me at the table here once and say that they were not going to win a single game. Right? And then he adjusted that. He was like, you know what? That's just jokes. That's just joke. That's just banter. I say 3 games. 3 games. Luton Town won't win 3 games in the Premier League this season. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I'll entertain that because you watch them play. You see the way that they create opportunities. The shit they go throughout 90 minutes is just way more shit than any other team has to go through in Europe right now. Good Lord, man. They go through some fucking shit. Red cards, players getting injured, missed opportunities. But the hope is always there. It really is. And I every single week, I keep up with them to see how does Luton Town look? Are they looking competitive? Are they going to get a tie this weekend? Are they going to lose, but in really, promising fashion? Or are they going to actually get a victory? And I was checking up on them when they were playing against Crystal Palace this past weekend. And they went up 1-0. And immediately, our DMs started to get filled on Instagram. Yo, Luton Town's up. Check it out. Luton Town's up. Check it out. I turned the TV on. Put on the Luton game, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. And I see Crystal Palace tie the match within, 5 minutes? Michael Olise scoring a goddamn banger. One of the most promising youngsters in the Prem right now. Someone big has to sign him. Manchester City almost got him. That would have been crazy. Michael Olise, my boy, keep an eye on him. Crystal Palace ties the game. 1-1, and I just think, okay, here we go. We're good then. We're good. They're going to stay at 1 win. Nothing else is going to happen. Perhaps Crystal Palace might even get this victory here, and Luton Town is going to stay in the goddamn dumps. But what happens then? Luton Town scores. Luton Town scores, and Luton gets a 2-1 victory to get their 2nd win of the season. Soltero in shambles. Why do you think he didn't show up, folks? Let's be honest. Y'all thought it was in regards to Leon? Y'all thought it was in regards to the MLS playoffs? Y'all thought it was in regards to something else? Hell no, brother. It's Luton Town. He didn't want to show up for that Luton talk, bro. He didn't want to show up. And so he's absent, man. He's absent, and so be it. Once they get that 3rd win, we're going to cook that boy. The way people thought Doku cooked Trent, we're going to cook that boy in some fucking pasta sauce, man, and eat his ass up, dude. Because Luton is on the fucking rise, man. At least like relegation-wise. And they are actually outside the relegation zone now, thanks to Everton's fucking deduction. And Luton Town is chasing that glorious 3rd victory. Will they do it? I think they probably will. And next episode, we'll have to hound Soltero to see if he apologizes or to see if he decides to just stay put until they get that 3rd victory. Luton Town is up, baby. All right, folks. So that was the Premier League updates I had for you. I felt like a lot happened in the Prem this weekend, so I kind of wanted to acknowledge it. But now I'm just going to go all around the world. So follow me, if you will, on this worldwide journey that I'm about to go on. And I actually want to start with the youngsters here. I was up at 2:30 in the morning watching 17-year-olds. Now, hold up. I know it's not, okay, I know. Okay, I know somebody get canceled. I know how that sounds. Folks, the U17 World Cup is in full effect. I repeat, the U17 World Cup is in full effect, and it's in Indonesia. So that's why I'm up late, okay? That's why I'm up. I could rephrase that sentence and said I was up late watching the World Cup, right? And that would have been a much different thing for me. But the truth of the matter is I'm watching 17-year-olds play the beautiful game of football past 12 o'clock midnight. And it's because it's in Indonesia, not by choice. All right, folks? Jesus Christ. Argentina versus Brazil in the U17 World Cup quarterfinals. Not seeing much talk about this, I'm be honest, but it is what it is. It's U17. You look at the talent. You look at the level of quality on the pitch. Yeah, I don't want to hate, but come on, guys. It's pretty lackluster, and I think that's why Soltero specifically doesn't even bother with under 23 World Cup tournaments. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Right? I like to entertain it, though, because we'll often see those youngsters that are stars, that are on the come up. Erling Haaland, I think, had a whole highlight where he scored like 9 goals against a team in this type of tournament. We've seen the best of the best compete in this tournament at some point in their careers. So it's nice to watch, to be like, who could be that next guy? And what was so dope about the matchup between Brazil and Argentina, the second time they face off, right, in terms of international matchups, with Brazil losing to Argentina at the Maracanã this past week, we have that same matchup in the quarterfinals of the U17 World Cup, and Argentina once again wins and absolutely rinses Brazil. Not 1, not 2, but 3-0. Argentina. Producer Ro, we could not have picked a better time to go to Argentina next month because right now Argentina is on the fucking rise, brother.
I think it's destiny, man. I think it's destiny.
Yeah, I think it's destiny, bro, because this is crazy how good Argentina. I don't know. I at least during my lifetime, Argentina is doing so well football-wise, right? We can talk economics. We can talk politics. Their new president looks fucking nuts, dude. But we stray away from that. Let's talk football here because Argentina is the king of football right now. But the standout player in this match was the man who scored not one, not two, but all 3 goals in this match. Echeverri. Hat-trick against his rivals Brazil in a quarterfinal World Cup matchup to take Argentina to the semifinals. The number 10 wearer, the absolute star, Echeverri, gets a hat trick in one of the most important games of his life, and he pushes his team forward. Beautiful, man. Watch that second goal he scored because this guy, oh man, I don't want to make the comparison. I'm just saying he has the fundamentals. He has the rubric of a kid who grew up watching Messi. That's what I see when I see him, right? He's maybe not as small in size, and he might not have the genius touch of a once-in-a-lifetime type of player like Messi, but I imagine him growing up, seeing Messi, watching him play every single week, watching him bring a trophy to Argentina, watching him do everything he has done for Barcelona and now Inter Miami. I see a guy just, a little boy, just wanting to model his game after him, even if he doesn't have the physical attributes to imitate exactly what Messi does. But still, that creates a player with a lot of skill and a lot of fucking flair because on that second goal, Argentina has that ball in the final third. It's on the right side, and he asks for it at the top of the box. He gets handed the ball, but the ball is actually coming in pretty quick, and it's a tough touch to receive. And at first, the touch looks a little heavy, but what happens when you see Messi do the same thing? He somehow finds a way to get that second controlled touch in. And Echeverri did the exact same thing. Flies by 2 defenders, has one more to go by, and just easily taps the ball outside to create more space for himself. And then he just blasts that ball into the back of the net. 2-0 at that point. Argentina goes up. He then scores a third goal to make it 3. Echeverri, bro. That highlight was ridiculous. He is the next one up. And you can only guess who has the rights to him right now. 25 million release clause if you'd like to purchase him at 17 years old. River Plate has the rights to him. River Plate has the rights to Echeverri, and they currently have him as a player on their team. And he's made a couple of appearances, I think 4 so far in the league, but nothing notable so far. He's still very young. He's still developing, but he is the next one up. And since he's so young, I'm going to adopt him on this show. I'm going to adopt Echeverri, and I'm going to bring him in as a son of the give and go. I might even get him on this fucking mural. And I'm going to be checking in on him, and I will be providing updates on Echeverri. I will, because if he ends up becoming, like the next Julian Alvarez, the next Vinny Jr., we'll remember this moment on the pod when I first brought him up after his incredible U17 performance. If Argentina goes on to win the U17 World Cup, oh, brother. Argentina's gonna be looking. I might have to change my nationality, man. I might change some shit, bro, because that's gonna be insane if they can win back-to-back World Cups and across divisions here. Santi Gimenez coming back with a hat trick in response to what was a shambolic performance against Honduras. Santi Gimenez gets a hat trick, a massive achievement for him now as he's nearing Luis Suarez's record for most goals in a calendar year as a Dutch Eredivisie player. So that's incredible, man. Santi Gimenez is doing amazing things right now for his team Feyenoord as they beat, as what Tactical Manager called, a Las Vegas casino in Excelsior. 4-2. Feyenoord gets a massive victory. But man, every time I just check on that scoreline, I'm so excited to just see Santi Gimenez and what, if he gets involved in these goals, if he gets an assist, if he gets a goal to just add to his tally, and the numbers just continue to go up. They really do, and it's so exciting to see, man. Santi Gimenez just every week, and Santi Gimenez, Santi at the club level. He's a god. He's a genius. He might go to Real Madrid. But at the international level, Santi Gimenez is a bum. I'm going to be honest, boys. And this is coming from a Mexico El Tri fan. Bum's harsh. No, actually, bum's really harsh. He's not a bum. But Jesus Christ, man. Mexico fans, are you guys not feeling that same frustration in terms of seeing Santi, go off with Feyenoord every single week? But then he comes back home and we see a different version of him. It's like at the weekends, he goes off, he's partying, he's having a great time with all his boys, but then he comes back home to you and he barely pays you any attention. He barely even acknowledges you. He doesn't ask you to go out. And you're just like, Santi, man, where is it, man? Where's the production? And occasionally he'll show that greatness as he did in the Gold Cup final against Panama, where he scored a crazy, crazy goal from half field, working the ball up and then finishing a beautiful goal. That's the highlight of his Mexico career. But damn, dude, outside of that, he really hasn't done anything for the national team in a time where we are desperate for a striker. We are desperate for a finisher, and we're desperate for a guy to put up offensive statistics like the ones he's putting up at Feyenoord. So I'm frustrated, dude. I really am, because he's exactly what we need from Mexico, yet he isn't able to tap into that. And there is arguments that he isn't getting enough minutes, that Jimmy Lozano isn't putting him in the best positions, that he just isn't overall, the team isn't overall tailored to his attributes, but I'm not buying the excuses anymore, man. I think Santi is too good. I think he's too good, because the way he's able to be so clinical with Feyenoord, we get those chances with Mexico, man. We really do. He doesn't need tons of service. Just based off what I'm seeing at Feyenoord, he doesn't need a ton of service. He just needs that one opportunity to capitalize on, and he takes advantage at the club level. But then you just go over into the international stage, and I don't know if it's the press, I don't know if it's the media, I don't know if it's that Mexican toxicity that revolves around a lot of players. Something's getting to him, and he just isn't able to find his form. And so I am frustrated. I'm curious to know if you Mexico fans are frustrated as well, because if we want to succeed at the Copa America, if we want to succeed at the 2026 World Cup, we need a Santi Gimenez who's firing on all cylinders with both the national team and his club team. And right now we're only getting one side of that. So here's to Santi, hopefully finding his form with the national team the next time we have an international break. But for now, I'm just saying, every time he scores a goal at the club level, I'm just like, I'm happy, but I'm also a little pissed, because I'm just like, damn, dude, where is this with Mexico? Bayern beats Köln. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Köln. I'm sure Soltero would be here to correct my pronunciations. This time he's not, so that's what you're getting. You're getting Köln. Köln. That's what I'm going to say. Köln. K-O-L-N. Köln. Bayern beats him 1-0. Harry Kane scores in this match yet again. Can Harry Kane break Leva's record of 42 goals in a Bundesliga season? I was looking at the numbers. It's possible. It really is possible. But remember, the Bundesliga is only 34 games in comparison to what the Premier League and Serie A is like 38 games. Bundesliga's 38 matches. So keep that in mind. That makes this record even tougher to achieve. But Bundesliga defenses are non-existent. They're non-existent. So there is that opportunity. I think he needs, I believe I counted 23 goals left to score in what would be about 20 matches. It's there. It really is there. And if you can get a couple more hat tricks to just kind of boost those numbers up, then we might see Harry Kane break Leva's record within his first year in the Bundesliga. And I asked Soltero this question last time I saw him. I said, is he proving that Leva was a fucking fraud, dude? Because Leva was putting ridiculous numbers with Bayern in the Bundesliga. And I always wonder, like, damn, man, Leva is just off the chain. Of course, he's one of the best strikers, one of the best nines we've ever seen in the game's history. It's between him, Benzema, and Suarez for the best striker of the past 10 years. So he absolutely deserves that merit. But if Harry Kane can break that record, I mean, that's just gonna be crazy to me. That's gonna be insane. I want to see him do it, and I just think that right now it's exactly what Bayern needed, man. You could not be more assured that was what they were lacking last season, was a proper nine, a proper finisher. So who did they go off and get? Well, they got the best one. Well, you could say top two in the world, right behind Erling Haaland, if you will. So Harry Kane having a Ballon d'Or type of year so far if he continues, but then also on track to break Leva's record. Folks, y'all mind going to Brazil? We don't have to. If you don't want to, we don't have to. We can keep it. We can keep it in a cordial place right now. Y'all want to go to Brazil? I want to go to Brazil. Let's go to Brazil. Brazil is having what the commentator I was listening to today during the Botafogo game, the man himself said, this is the greatest Brasileirão, I know I'm not saying that right, but Brazilian league. This is the greatest league that we've seen so far in history because of how tight the race for the title is right now. it is getting ridiculous. And I'm not sure I've actually seen this across any league where, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go 6, actually. Yeah. 6 teams could potentially vie for the title. 3 games to go. This is how it stands in Brazil right now. There's a Brazilian update here. In first place, 35 games played for all these teams now, so no one has a game in hand anymore. 35 games with 3 more games to go. Palmeiras in first place with 63 points. Flamengo tied with 63 points, but a smaller goal differential. Botafogo in third place with 62 points. Atlético Mineiro in fourth with 60, Grêmio with 59, Red Bull Bragantino with 59 as well. We're talking about a 4-point difference between 6th place and first place, folks. Ridiculous. Ridiculous what we're seeing right now in Brazil. And the results we saw this week, were just insane. Insane. Let me go over some of these. Atlético Mineiro killed Grêmio, which is just ridiculous because if you're a Grêmio fan, Jesus Christ, 2 bad results back to back, that's going to kill off your hopes. And Red Bull Bragantino fans can absolutely relate to you because they got 2 bad results as well, losing today to Internacional and a Valencia penalty to take the lead. Internacional gets the win here. But that is what I love about Brazil is that, in the Premier League, you'll see a team like Liverpool get matched up against Bournemouth. And you already know going in, Liverpool's probably going to win this game. Manchester City, Tottenham, Arsenal, whoever it might be that's in the top 6, going up against Sheffield, going up against Crystal Palace, going up against Luton. You know what the result is going to be. But in Brazil, man, it is not like that at all, dude. At all. I'm actually starting to feel like the team that's hosting the match, regardless of where they stand in the standings, is the favorite to win the game. Because it's just crazy how much home field advantage plays in the Brazilian league, but then the context behind everything, the pressure, will they actually show up? People talking shit about them, can they prove them wrong? There's so many more factors I feel like that exist in Brazil that play a role in this whole, title deciding race. And that's what makes this race dope because it's not predictable at all, man. It's not predictable at all. And so we saw a team like Atlético Mineiro kill one of the contenders, Grêmio, 3-0. Botafogo tied Santos with Santos, a team that was potentially going to get relegated at the beginning of the season, tying the match in the last 5 minutes of the game. Crazy. Botafogo, my goodness, man, they're pissing me off because they really needed these 3 points, but they lose 2 of them and they only get 1 out of this match. Flamengo winning away from home 3-0. Massive victory. Now they're actually contenders. They might actually win the title this year. That's crazy. Flamengo with an actual opportunity. Fortaleza Palmeiras. Fortaleza hosting the match. The Copa Sudamericana runners-up hosting this game. You knew they were going to be formidable. You knew they were going to be really tough to beat, and it showed because they took the lead twice in this game. Palmeiras had to play from behind. Props to them. Credit to them for being able to tie the match despite only having 10 players on the pitch for the second half. But they dropped points. And Brazil is looking as tight as ever. Palmeiras is still in first now, but it's just purely at a goal differential. Flamengo right behind them. Botafogo right behind them. Atlético Mineiro still there with a chance. Grêmio looking for an opportunity. And Red Bull Bragantino hoping for a little bit of a miracle now, but still with a chance to win. Brazil's getting crazy, folks. And if you're not tuning in yet, please do so because you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching these games. MLS Playoffs. My last topic that I want to talk about is the football happening here in the States between these MLS clubs. The quarterfinals are finally set in motion, and my predictions were a little bit wonky. They're a little bit wonky. I found myself Venmoing Soltero $5 because I made a bet with him last time that Orlando City would beat Columbus Crew. Despite me picking Columbus Crew to potentially be a winner of this tournament, I said that Orlando City might have the advantage because they're at home, so I had them winning, but they lost. Columbus Crew won 2-0. 2-0 in this match in extra time, getting a really important victory now to set up an all-Ohio semifinal or conference final between them and Cincinnati, who both Soltero and I picked as potential winners of this tournament as well. So we actually have Cincinnati versus Columbus Crew. And producer Rudd, I want you to roll a tape as to what I said when we made the preview for this entire playoff system. There's a specific state in the USA that I think is on a bit of a prominent rise, birthing 2 incredible NBA players in both Steph Curry and LeBron James. Ohio, baby. Ohio. It's got something to it this year, bro. I think that the winner of the MLS will come out of Ohio. So that means either FC Cincinnati or Columbus Crew, dude. I'm telling you, folks, Ohio football is on the rise, and I'm still on it, man. But Columbus Crew against Cincinnati, man, man, it's going to be an insane matchup with the atmosphere just popping. I low-key want to think about going myself, but I have Cincinnati winning this matchup and going to the MLS Playoffs final. Now, on the other side, we have Houston Dynamo, who defeated Sporting KC today, facing off against LAFC, who defeated Seattle away from home. I actually had predicted that Sporting would win this matchup because I had said that Houston would lose in the quarterfinals months ago, right, in terms of what their ultimate peak could be in the MLS. And I've been proven wrong time and time again. This Houston team is a team full of winners. Like, these guys are set on making deep runs, because we're talking about guys like Carrasquilla, who he himself made a deep run with Panama at the Gold Cup this past summer, going all the way to the final. Also getting major results. Panama cooking as well at the international stage, beating Costa Rica just recently. That's showing with this Houston team, because Carrasquilla is a focal point of the squad, and he's just playing just as well with them too. And then Hector Herrera actually proving to be a really good captain for this Houston team now that he doesn't have to worry about that Mexico international duty. Houston winning this game 1-0 off of a beautiful header to take the lead, commanding the game, controlling it, and not really giving Sporting KC and truly a chance to get back in the match. They had their small half chances and opportunities, but for the most part, I felt that Houston was the better team here and they deserved the victory. And so they're going to be facing off against an LAFC side who faced off against a team that has haunted them for years in Seattle, for years. And they finally were able to get the best of them. Finally, LAFC were able to overcome their demons and do it away from home. Impressive. That's impressive to me, man. The beginning of the match, you could see all the fog. You could see all the smoke in the air. This truly was an awesome matchup to see in the MLS. But Dennis Bouanga, you give him one chance, and the dude looks like Mo Salah on the goddamn wing. Clinical, but also able to dribble into space really well. And that's exactly what he did on that goal, giving LAFC the lead 1-0. And they saw the game out. LAFC faces off against Houston Dynamo in a classic matchup of LA against Houston and then Ohio in the other one. I love how the MLS playoffs are panning out right now. I have Cincinnati beating Columbus Crew. Fuck, this gets hard. LAFC Houston is a coin flip. It really is a coin flip. Two really, really good teams. But I'm going to go LAFC. They already have the experience, having won the MLS Cup last year. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They seem set on what they want to do, and that's lift another title going back to back. I don't think they will. I think Cincinnati will ultimately do it, or at least the team from Ohio. But I do think they'll prove to be the toughest test that these Ohio teams will face. And so I have LAFC defeating Houston. Houston, I'm sorry. I just can't. I still can't. Despite everything y'all have done to prove me wrong every single time, I still can't do it when it comes to this stage. I'm going LAFC wins this matchup, and we're getting an LAFC Cincinnati final with Cincinnati winning. So if you're still listening, folks, thank you so much for sticking around for this solo Reynoso show. Soltero will be back next episode to talk Champions League football. Don't you worry. But in the meantime, please give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, subscribe, and give us a like on YouTube. Any support you can give, we truly, truly appreciate it, guys. So thank you guys so much. Shout out to all you guys. I really do love y'all, man. I really do. So I'll check back on y'all next time, and we'll see you guys real soon alongside my boy Soltero. Till next time, guys. Peace.